What's going on, YouTube Pipe community? This is Spurgeon Settings here, joining you on a morning which is starting out to be quite nice and beautiful. Currently working in the office and getting some stuff done. Going to collect some supplies and make some deliveries to some widows and those who aren't able to get out of their homes, and just talk with them. They are probably suffering in ways more than some of us, as far as at least for me, my widows, the highlight of their week is the Sunday service. That's the time they get with their friends, and that's the time when they see folks, and that is the time they go into worship. And so not having that, as we are canceling our or have canceled services other than my live stream, which most of them don't have internet. This is a tough time, so I'm trying to minister to them and take care of them in various ways. So this morning I wanted to get to a question to leave you for the weekend, and this is something for both you seasoned pipe smokers and those of you who are very brand new to it. Maybe you haven't even started this hobby. Why do we pipe smoke? What makes us drift to this? And that's a good question for us seasoned guys, or those of you far more seasoned than I am. Something for us to contemplate at times. Why do we pipe smoke? Pipe smoking isn't necessarily a cheap hobby. Now, it can be. There's a lot of folks who just stick with fairly cheap briars and corncob pipes, and they stick with their own over-the-counter blends like Half and Half and Walter Riley and things like that. And hey, that's great. That's awesome. And that's a fairly inexpensive hobby. For those of us who, though, are in the YTPC community, most of us, I would say, desire the higher-end blends, the luxury blends, the ones that are tinned and more cares given to them. They're usually more expensive, and even the bulk ones you would find online or in your local tobacco store, they're going to be more expensive than your over-the-counter ones. And we like nice pipes that might cost at very least $50 and $100 to $200 and $300 and so on dollars. And so we could put some good money into it, several $100 a year, maybe. Some of us more than that. I've gone over that. So why do we do that? That money could go elsewhere. And not to mention there's health risk involved, and that's a subject for another time. I won't get into that today. So with those things on one side, we have to weigh, well, why do we do that? Or why do we do this? And maybe if you're new to this pipe smoking scene, you're seeing folks who really enjoy it, and you might be wondering that yourself. Why do you do this? I want to start off with a quick quote from C.S. Lewis. And C.S. Lewis was a theologian, a professor, a writer. You might know him more well, or for his more well-known works like the Chronicles of Narnia. And so he's someone who was a pipe smoker, if you didn't know that. I believe he smoked Three Nuns or Capstan. I think Tolkien smoked Three Nuns. Anyway. So he was an avid pipe smoker. So he says this about pipe smoking. He says in a book called On the Reading of Old Books, "For my own part, I tend to find the doctrinal books often more helpful in devotion than the devotional books. And I'd rather suspect that the same experience may await many others. I believe that many who find that nothing happens when they sit down or kneel down to a book of devotion," and he's talking about spiritual devotion, by the way, "would find that the heart sings unbidden while they are working their way through a tough bit of theology with a pipe in their teeth and a pencil in their hand." I love that quote, and it really spoke with me when I first read it, and it might have been one of the things that got me into pipe smoking. As a pastor and someone who loves theology and loves reading the works of throughout history, and I love just history books altogether. My second hobby, I guess, is reading books. That really hit the nail on the head for me. Pipe smoking involves more contemplation, and it was just an avenue that melded well with reading books. In a sense, it allowed deeper thinking, and I think that's why so many professors, even in my seminary, smoke a pipe. My favorite theologians smoke a pipe, and writers like Tolkien and Lewis, they smoke pipes, and I think there's a connection there. So for some of you wondering to know why do we smoke pipes, that's part of it. Is set aside the flavoring and set aside those things. I think it's the sitting down, and when you smoke a pipe, you can't smoke it fast like a cigarette or even a cigar. You have to sit and smoke slowly, and it gives time for thoughts and contemplation on whether it is theology or your life or different subjects or a book or what have you. It helps slows us down, and I think that's even healthy. So that's part of the reason why at least I do, why I smoke a pipe, and I almost always do when I'm doing my studies, and I think it just melds well there. And then there's part of it that's just less spiritual. We enjoy the flavors. I love smoking different tobaccos for the flavors, for when it's a vapor or just a straight Virginia or an English blend or a Balkan blend, and picking out those notes and getting more experience with picking out those notes and enjoying that, and even the room note most of the time. That's an enjoyment. I really have a delight in that. And so those are like two main things that stick out with me, and that first one probably more so is, why do I do this, and why do I put more or put money into it? Because it slows me down, allows me to contemplate a little bit better, and it's just an enjoyable experience that when I was young, I tried cigarettes and they did nothing for me. I've smoked cigars time to time, but I don't really take to cigars. But pipe smoking is different, and it gives me time to think and meditate, and something I can do easily, whether I'm reading a book or praying or what have you. So for you who are seasoned, why do you smoke a pipe? Maybe it connects you to your past, or maybe you have friends who do, and it connects you with your friends. So give me your thoughts if you have them, and if you're new to pipe smoking and you still have questions about why, leave them down in the comments. I'd love to know, and we can have a discussion about that. So guys, I hope you have a blessed weekend. If you don't mind, leave a like or a comment, and that'd be awesome, and be sure to subscribe. I'm grateful for you guys who are in the YTPC community. It's a joy to have you around. Guys, I'll take care, and we will talk to you guys next week.